Yeah, so everyone has created the tables.
Now I have a question about the tables. The text tables, I'm creating them. I almost finished, but every table has primary key, and I see some there's foreign key. So we're using a foreign key or we're using a primary key
Primary keys we have to create.
for the main table, right?
Yes.
Okay, because in on the side it's saying a foreign key too.
Yeah, we can create a foreign keys as well. Right. The main CLCL table will be the primary key, and that primary key will be the foreign key for other tables.
Um,
Sir,
yeah,
but
I didn't add any foreign key because yesterday I asked you this question and then you said you told us to focus only on those first three fields to create the tables for now.
Yeah, that should be also fine. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Just to understand like how those tables are connected, I have mentioned that if you are not created, that should be absolutely fine.
Okay.
sir, but if we want
So
to
just to
create,
clarify,
aren't
sir,
they
we only have to create the foreign keys that you mentioned in the Excel sheet and not any other foreign keys that we might notice while looking at the tables.
Yes, even that I have mentioned in the Excel as well. If you are not creating, that should be also fine. Okay. But yeah, there should be the primary keys that has been highlighted into the Excel file.
But when sir, when I'm looking at a CLCL/ID is a primary key every table, so we can use as a primary key every table, or we have to make the second table as a foreign key.
No, primary key should be created in each table.
But it's the same column, like it's the same CLD,
Mm,
CLD underscore ID. So you want us
no,
that be a primary key
Yeah,
every
but
table?
no, I
right,
think
those are the different tables, right? So for all those tables, it should be a primary key.
Okay.
yeah, different tables and also in other tables we have composite primary keys, not
you're
just a single column.
you're
Right.
echoing
Yeah.
something? If you could turn off your mic, I think that's probably you.
Yeah, so the only CLCL table is having the CLCL ID as a primary key. Other tables is having combination of the columns. So we call that as a composite primary key, right? So it is not only a single column.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sir, but if you're referencing those tables, uh, if you're using foreign key and all that, aren't they from different databases?
No, it is in the under single database only, right?
Like the core and we're referencing the core tables while creating the stage tables, right?
No. For this member related, okay. Does it mention like that?
There is total the four table, right? I created four table and primary key and link the foreign key on the primary key.
Yeah, that should be fine. Okay. So yeah, I
How
am
many
just
table? There is
okay.
total
So
four.
right, it should be on stage table. Okay, not on a core table. I just remove it. Should be facets.
Yes, there is four table on stage table.
Yes, four tables on the stage, and there are more than four in the core tables.
Yeah, we have eight tables.
Yeah, I was talking about the core table. I didn't even started the stage table yet.
Yeah. See, we are having the foreign keys as well, but yeah, it is not necessary to create because we are not having any data and we may miss to add some data. It is just to understand for you like whenever we insert the data into the first table or the claim, yes, CLCL is nothing but it is a claim table. Okay, so whenever we are inserting data into the claims table, we will have to generate one claim ID. Okay, and that claim ID will be again same claim ID we will insert in other tables as well. So the data for one claim will be split across the multiple tables. Okay, that is what the normalization, that is how the normalization works. Okay, we cannot create a single table holding all the information, and that's the reason we will have the multiple tables. Okay, so if you want to gather the information about a particular claim, you have to join the multiple claims table. Okay, and each table is having the its own characteristics, and the information also like stored in different tables. Okay, and what are those tables we will talk today, so you will get to know more about this, how the data will be stored across these tables. Okay, so yeah, we'll talk about the stage tables first. Okay, because that is the first thing or the first database we'll be having where the data will be loaded as per this process flow diagram. Okay, so if you see here, as I mentioned yesterday, this will be our first step, and what it is having is it is having a job to load the claim data into the staging database. So initially, the data will be loaded into the staging database, and we are having four tables into the staging database. Okay. Now, what you need to refer here is the process flow tab we are having. Okay, in which you have the requirements there. Okay. So before going to this particular step, okay, we have to look for this step as well. Here we are having the member enrollment and provider enrollment. Okay, and then claim processing. So before claim processing, we need to look for these two uh, processes. Okay, but we are not going to see this in detail. So we will create a one-time query or one-time a procedure to load the data into these tables. So where are those tables in our Excel sheet? Okay, so these two tables are there into the core tables. Okay, I have highlighted that into this green. Okay, these are the master tables. Okay, CMC PRPR and CMC MEME. Okay, so this is the provider master table information of the registered providers. Okay, so this will hold all the information about the registered providers, and then we are having the member master MEME table information about the registered members. So all the providers that has been associated to the insurance company that will be loaded into this provider table CMC PRPR, and then all the members that has been taken an insurance that will be loaded into this member master table CMC MEME. Okay, so these are the two tables that we need to populate first with the master data, which will be like nearly changing or never changing data we'll be having into these two tables. Okay, core table which will not be changed frequently. Okay, now for that, what we have mentioned here is this is a one-time procedure, package, query, whatever we can use to load the data into this provider table and member table. Okay, so for this, I will give you the exercise on this to load this data, and from where we are going to load this data, we will talk later on after understanding all the tables. Okay, so again, today you have to work on loading the data into these two tables. Okay, I will be providing some information about it, how to load and from where to load. Okay, and you will be loading the data into these two tables. Now, this is the first step, first requirement we are having. So it is mentioned like claim load process is used to load the data into the stage tables with status shown in the status tab. Okay, so whenever we have to create one procedure which will load the data into the stage tables. Now, when I mention stage tables, so there are four tables we are having. So the claim data should be loaded across the four tables here. Okay, with what? With the status shown in the status tab. So what is the status tab we are having? It is the claim status tab we are having. So submitted claims. Okay, whenever the claim is submitted, it should be loaded with claim status as 16. That is what it means. So what are those tables? So these are all the stage tables like CLCL, which is the claim table. Again, the CDML, CLPR, and MEME. What are all those tables? We will be talking here. Okay, initially, this is just a claim load process, so we will not have the values present into the payment related columns, right? The total payable amount. Total payable amount is nothing but how much the insurance company is going to pay. Okay, so that will be decided later on after adjudication, like after all the validations, claim check and all, then we will decide and we will update that column. Initially, when the claim is submitted, okay, uh, the claim submitter, it may be a provider or member or third party, they will not decide how much is the payable amount. Yeah, they will definitely give you the total claim amount. Okay, how much amount they are requesting for that claim, they will give the details, but the payable amount will be decided by the insurance company. So this will be again remain uh, remain empty until the payment process goes. Okay, again the CDML allowable amount and CDML disallow amount, those are also again be blank or the empty. Okay, this will not be populated with data. Now what are all those fields we are having? We will see one by one into this stage tables field. Okay, so yeah, this is the table we are having. So very first table into this database is stage CMC CLCL. Okay, so this is the main table. Okay, I have given the details about the table in this facets database as well. Okay, because those are the like same tables, we can see the information here as well. Okay, the first table we are having, which is the main claims table to hold the claims data. One row for each CLCL ID, and it is a PK, right? So as we have mentioned this CLCL ID as a primary key, right? There will not be any duplicate claim, right? And every claim will have only one row. Okay, every claim will have only one row. So it is a main table for the claims, okay, which holds the claim related information at high level. Okay, now in this table we are having some fields here, like all those fields, and I'm given the description of this that field, what it is. Okay, second, the first is a CLCL ID. Okay, and CLCL ID will not be coming as an input parameter in your EDI file. So I'm just opening this. Okay, so in your EDI file, we will not have the claim ID in real time as well. Why we will not have? The claim ID is something that needs to be generated by the insurance company. Why I'm saying this? Okay, let's say you are going for any customer care center. Okay, whether you will go with the request ID or you will go with information.
With information.
Right. So you will go with the information, you will submit your information, and on top of that information submitted, there will be one reference ID created. It may be ticket number, it may be the request number, it will be the incident number, whatever it is, right? And that will be generated by that service center. So same way, the information for that claim will be submitted into the EDI format, and insurance company will generate that claim number against that information, so that in future if the like in future yeah, like the member or the provider can reach out to the insurance company, okay, saying like this was the claim that was generated, or it will be helpful for the insurance company as well to track the like information about that claim using that claim ID, right? So claim ID will be generated whenever you submit the claim. So uh, this is what here as well, CLCL ID, unique ID to be generated. Okay, so this ID will be generated by the insurance company, like by us. Okay, we have to generate the claim ID, and I have given the details about the claim ID, how it is going to be generated. So it will be the last two digits of the current year. Okay, so in that case, it will be like 26. Okay, then first letter of the current month. So whatever month we are having currently, so it should be the first letter of that month, and then unique 7-digit sequence starting from 1. So let's say we have received the first claim. Okay, so our first claim ID should be 26. Now current month is May, so M, and then 7-digit 4, 5, 6, and 1. So this will be our first claim. Let's say the claim is submitted. So this will be our first claim. Again, one more claim has been submitted by some another member. So again, it should be like 26M00000002. Okay. And then the third and so on. So like that, the claim ID should be automatically generated whenever a new claim will be submitted. Okay, so here is the formula we are having: last two digits of the current year, first letter of the current month, and then we are having 7-digit sequential value starting from 1. Okay, so this is how we have to generate this while loading the claim data. Then we are having MAMECK and MAMEID. So this is the information about the member. Okay, now this is something which is your ID that was generated by the insurance company. Okay, now again I will give some example here. Let's say you have taken some insurance. Okay, when you buy some insurance, so you will be assigned with some user ID, right? And uh, that user ID we need to update here. And that's the reason we will not be submitting the user ID on the claim. What we will submit instead of this is we will submit the information about the member. This information: first name, last name, middle initial, birth date. So this information will be submitted uh, on the EDI file. Okay, so for example, here we are having this subscriber information. Okay, what we have is submitter name. Okay, this is submitter, not subscriber. Yeah, here we are having the subscriber information. Okay, we are having last name, first name. Then similar way below there will be some other segments which will hold the information about the date of birth. Okay, address. So that details will be uh, submitted on the EDI file. Okay, and that's the reason I have mentioned out here for these two fields. Okay, this will be empty before member match. So we will not receive this information on the file itself. So initial load, these two fields will be again empty, right? Before member match, in the sense, for that we need to look for the process flow. So second process is member match. So during initial process, those fields will be empty. Okay, and that data we are going to update into the next step. Okay, so initially there will be fields, those will be empty, like the member related information, then provider related information, payment related information. So those will be empty during initial loading of the data. So in our first procedure, we don't need to populate these columns with values, because these are the something which are related to either payment, or these are related to the registered member ID or registered provider ID. Okay, so yeah, this is the two fields we are having, which we are going to take from the master table. I think it should be from the master table only. Yeah, master table. Okay, so if you go here in the core tables, we are having the master table MEME here. Okay, so we will take these values from this table and update into the CLCL table, into the stage database. So that is what the second requirement we will be having. We will talk about this later on. Okay, but
Quick
initially,
question.
yes,
Quick question. Okay. What does CK stands for there? Mem CK.
it is like contrib queue. We are having something abbreviation I have given.
Okay.
Okay. Contrib queue, like it is maybe it may be like a primary key, like starting from 1 to 3 something.
Oh, you said contributing key.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. It may not be the same column names everywhere. Okay. It should be it might be a different, but yeah, similar uh, kind of naming convention will be followed. Okay. If we are creating any tables, any databases, any columns, okay, it should be having a meaningful name. So that is the reason I have taken all those columns. Like when we are creating the CLCL table, all the fields are starting with CLCL near about. Okay, when we are creating a CDML table, all the fields will be starting with CDML near about. Okay, so the naming conventions are important when you are working in real time. Okay, so there should be a standard naming convention across all the tables across the database, and you will going to follow the same because there will be a document dedicated to the naming convention, how your table name should be, how your column name should be. Okay, what type of what data type you have to choose for which type of column. So that all details will be there in the standard document. Okay, and every organization will have its own naming convention standard, and we have to follow that. Okay,
Excuse me, sir.
yeah. Then
That's you told me that
yes.
you work with the Blue Seal, Blue Class insurance. Yeah, you have the real format of this one. That's like this one.
Yeah, not exactly same, but near about.
Near with similar this one. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so yeah, next field we are having is the CLCL subtype, which is nothing but the claim subtype. Okay, claim type, and we have seen yesterday or during this, there will be two major claim types we'll be having. One is professional, and another is a institutional claim. Right, so that claim type will be uh, stored into this column. Okay, the sample values are like M or H. M is for medical, H is for hospital. Okay, medical are also called as a professional, and hospital claims are also called as a institutional claims, or it may be like D for dental claims. So this information will be again received into the like the EDI file. So we will hold the data for that claim type into this column. Then total charge is again where the field itself is self-explanatory, right? Total charge is nothing but claim total charge, CLCL total charge. So total charge on a submitted claim. So how much charge has been mentioned on the submitted claim. So that will be available into this field. So let me check if we are having it here. This EDI is not complete, right? So it is not having the submitted charge information. Okay, but there will be some loops available which will having the information about the charge also. Okay, so this is a charge field, and when you see the description here, I was mentioned something here. It should be sum of CDML charge amount for the claim. Okay, now what is CDML charge amount? So that for that we need to look for the second table. Okay, and if you see here, we are having the second table. The description of this table is it is a line level information, line level data for claim, and one claim can have multiple lines with a different sequence. Okay, that is how the primary key also designed here. So the primary key is a combination of two fields, CLCL ID and CDML sequence number. Okay, so one claim can have multiple lines, like claim ID 1, okay, line number 1, sequence number 1, and the charge on that line 1. Okay, then from date and to date for that line 1, from which date to which date the patient was admitted. Okay, same claim, line number 2, and for that line number 2 again some charge will be there. So the total charge on the claim level, okay, total charge on the claim, it will be the sum of all the lines for that claim. That is what we are mentioning here. Okay, if there is only one line, it will be sum of that one line only. But if the claim is having multiple lines, like 10 lines, so we have to take sum of all the lines from this table and we have to update that into the claims table. Okay, I will show you some data. And why will we will have some different lines, that also we will talk. Okay, here we are having two lines information. Yeah, here is some example we are having. Okay, so this is a claims table, the main claims table we are having. Okay, so claim ID 1, and it is having the fields for the service date, low service date, high service date. Okay, for the same claim, let's say in CDML table we are having the three lines. Okay, and why we need to have the three lines? Because a patient is admitted, he may take the services, he may take the treatment for different diseases. Okay, so that information should be stored in a separate, uh, like in the form of a separate lines. And for each of the treatment, we will give the sequence number starting from 1. Okay, there is what we can have the multiple lines for a one claim. So claim ID will be same, and there will be three different lines for that claim, 1, 2, 3. Okay, claim ID, if you see, it is one only, 001, but the sequence number is 1, 2, 3. The first line is for thyroid, second is for the lung infection, third is for migraine. Okay, and for each of this treatment there will be a separate cost. Okay, now whatever we are having the lines here, so sum of all the charge amount, this is the field CDML charge amount. So sum of all the charges for the given claim will be the total charge amount, right? So sum of all these three, which is 500, that will be the total charge amount. The second claim, if you see, this is also having two lines. Okay, one is for thyroid, again second is for cholera. Okay, and both are having its own charge amount. So sum of the two lines will be 370, and that will be your total charge. So to insert the value into we are not having the direct value in, for inserting into this total charge amount, that we need to calculate after populating the second table, after inserting the data into the second table. Okay, so this will be again empty total charge, and we will update later after inserting the data into this CDML table, right? And that will be the sum of CDML charge amount. Okay, then the payable amount, this will be blank because this needs to be updated after the payment, after all the adjudication, right? So it may be like, let's say we are having 500 as a total charge. Okay, it is having the possibility, right? We are not paying all the 500. Okay, there will be some deduction into the amount, reduction into the amount based on the eligibility, based on the company policy and everything. Okay, so total payable will be the actual payment amount that the insurance company is paying after deduction. Okay, so here also we are having this allowable amount. Okay, so this allowable amount for the given line. So let's say we are having three lines here, and we are from this 200 we are paying, let's say 200 for that line. From this 150 we are paying $100, and from this 150 again we are paying $100. Okay, so the total charge is 500, but what is total allowed amount we are having is, it is 400. So this sum of CDML allowable amount should be updated to this payable amount, but this should be after the during the payment process. Initially, it will be empty only. Okay. Then we are having network indicator. Network indicator is the status of the network, provider network. Okay. Whether the doctor that has treated the patient, whether he was in network or out of network. Now, what is in network and out of network? Right. Whenever like the patient needs to be admitted, okay, and you are having some insurance plan. So what you will prefer first is you will prefer for the cashless. And to go with the cashless insurance, you have to look for the network hospital only, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So that is what the network provider, okay, in network. And any providers, any hospital you visit which is not tied up with that insurance company, then for that what you need to do is you need to request for the reimbursement after taking the treatment, right? So that is in network and out of network concept. Okay, so that indicator will be available into this EDI file, and it will be having like in network, okay, or maybe participating or out of network providers. So that value will be inserted into this network indicator field. Then we are having PRPR ID. Now again, similar to this MEME ID and MMECK, PRPR ID will not be receiving on the file directly. Instead of PRPR ID, what we will receive is we will receive the provider information. Okay, which will be loaded into a separate table. What we are having into the provider table, what type of provider it is. Okay, then what is the tax ID on the provider? What is the like NPI for that provider, national identification number? What is the state of that provider? So that details we will be receiving, and based on that this detail, we need to go for this PRPR table, the master table. We need to match the information about this submitted information like tax ID, NPI. Then yeah, these are the two things we need to map, and against this we need to take the PRPR ID, and that needs to be updated here. Okay, so initially again this PRPR ID will be blank before the provider selection, but what value it will hold? It will hold the provider number for that given claim. Okay, then current status, claim current status, it will be the current status of the claim. So this will goes on changing as the claim will move from one state to another state. The current status will change at every single step. Okay, so initially what will be the status? For that we need to look for the status tab, and we have seen initially it will be the 16 status. Okay, so 16 will be the value for this current status column. Then we have low service date and high service date. So these are the uh, lowest of the admission date and highest of the like discharge date. Okay, so this also again need to calculate from the CDML table, because one line is having this treatment date. Okay, for the thyroid we have taken treatment from 15 to 18. Again, for the lung infection it will be like 18 to 20, and for the migraine it was like Feb 15 to Feb 22. So what is the minimum date from this we are having? That will be your lowest service date. Okay, that means that will be the first date for in which the service was started. Okay, and maximum from this date will be your discharge date. Okay, so it should be again having the line level information. Okay, and that we need to find out the lowest and the highest date, and that we need to update into these two fields. So minimum of CDML from date will be your low service date, and maximum of to date will be your high service date. Okay, so this also again needs to be updated from by reading the data from this table. The patient account number, this is the account number associated with the patient. Okay, so this will be available into the EDI file. Okay, so I'll take some sample full EDI file tomorrow. Okay, so the patient account number will be available into the EDI file, and input date is nothing but it is the date on which the claim is got loaded. So it should be a get date only. So whenever we load the claim data, that date should be inserted into this input date column. Okay, so this is a claim table. Okay, overall, it will be having only one line for each claim. Okay, when the data is submitted, first thing we will do is we will generate a claim ID. Okay, with this formula, like last 2 digits of the current year, first letter of the current month, and unique 7-digit sequence. Okay, and then other information, some information will be empty, some information will be loaded with data, but it will be updated in the same stored procedure. Okay, like total charge, then low service date, high service date, those all things will be updated. Now, second table is a CDML. CDML is the table which is used to load the data on a line level. That means one claim, okay, one claim can have multiple lines, okay, but the combination of claim and sequence should be only one, right? So it is not like we will be having the uh, claim ID 1, sequence 1, again claim ID 1 and sequence 1. So that will be the violation of primary key, right? That is what our primary key is. So claim ID can be same, the sequence should be different, 1, 2, 3, like that. Okay, and each line will hold the information about each of the uh, diagnosis. Okay, so that data will be stored into this CDML table. So it is having CLCL ID. Now CLCL ID, whether we need to generate the CLCL ID again.
No.
No, because this is a line level data for the same claim which we have loaded into this table. Right, because these tables are in a normalized format. Okay, the claim data will be splitted across multiple table, right? So when we load the claim level data for the same claim, the detailed line level information will be available into this table. Okay, so once the claim is generated, same claim ID needs to be inserted into this table and below tables as well. Okay, so we are not going to generate claim ID again and again. If we generate the claim ID again, okay, so this claim will be different. The claim which we have loaded into this table and the line level information, the if we are generating the new claim ID, this information will be tagged with some different claim ID. Okay, so we will not have the information about the first claim in detail. Right, so if you see in this table, we don't have the diagnosis related information, member related information, provider related information, then treatment date related information. We don't have anything into this table. This is a very high level data we are having. Okay, so the detailed data for the claim will be loaded into this second table, CDML table, which is a line level table we are having. Okay, so claim ID, whatever we have submitted, whatever we have created for the first table, the same claim ID we need to insert here. The sequence number will goes on increasing as many lines are there. So for that each line, it will increase. So first line will have the 1 as a sequence number, 2 as a sequence number, 3 as a sequence number, and it goes on increasing. Okay, I have seen the claims in real time of almost 250 lines. Okay, 200 lines, 250 lines, one claim it can have. Okay, then subtype, it will be the same as what we are having here. Okay, so the claim subtype. Then charge amount is total charge on the claim line. So that we will receive directly and we will insert. Network indicator, same in network or out of network we are having. From date and to date. So this is the admission date and discharge date for that given line, or we can say service start date and service end date for the given claim line. So we have seen this example here. Right. So for thyroid, this was the treatment start date and treatment end date. For lung infection, this was the treatment start date and end date. So this CDML from date and to date are the dates from which the service was started and at which the service was ended for that particular disease. So that we need to insert into this two fields here. Okay. Yeah. Then next we are having is allowable amount. Okay, these three fields we are having: CDML, which is the line allow amount, line disallow amount, and line disallow EXCD code. EXCD is nothing but the explanation code. Okay, so now this is something which we will populate after the payment process. Why we are saying after the payment process? We are having the total charge on the claim line. Okay, claim line, and we need to update what is allowed from that total charge, what is disallowed from the total charge, and if it is disallowed, why it is disallowed. That reason also we need to update here. So it is the description. If you see, it is allowable amount for the claim line, it is disallowed amount for the claim line, and reason for the line rejection. Okay, if we are disallowing some amount or all the amounts for that line, we need to update the reason also here. Okay, so we'll go back to this example here. So this is a charge amount and we are having the, let's say this is a CDML allow field. Okay, so we have allowed 200 from this, all the whatever this is charged, we have allowed everything. So here what will be the CDML disallow? What is the field name? Yeah, disallow amount. What is CDML disallow? So what will be the disallow amount here? From 200 we are paying all the 200, so disallow will be 0 only, right? So disallow will be CDML charge amount minus CDML allowable amount. Okay, so from this 150 we are paying 100, so what will be the disallow amount? It is a $50. Same for the line 3, it is a $50. Okay, now from these two lines we have some amount deducted, so we need to give the reason here. Okay, EXCD code, which is nothing but the explanation code, why we have reduced it. So that field, like what is that, disallow EXCD, so that code should be updated here, like something like limit reached or something. Okay, it might be anything. So that reason we need to give here as an explanation code. Okay, so these are the three fields we will be having that will be updated later on after the payment process. Then we are having some other fields like diagnosis code, procedure code. Okay, PRPR ID, this will be empty before the provider selection. But this diagnosis code and procedure code is the information which will be available into the EDI file. So for each line, there will be some treatment, some disease name we have given. So each disease will have some code number. Okay, and that is the standard. If you search for the maybe diagnosis code as per HIPAA. Okay, so these are the ICD codes we are having, and this is standard across US. So every disease will be like having its own code number. there are different codings we are having, like diagnosis code, procedure code, or maybe service code. Okay, so for everything, there will be a standard coding system available, and these codes will be stored somewhere in the table as well, like a master table we are having for provider and member, right? So same way we'll be having some other master tables as well, which we are not having in our this current project we have not taken, but there will be some uh, other master tables as well, like procedure code, diagnosis code, or service code, or place of service code, like that. Okay, I might have some examples in this document as well. Yeah, here we are having. Okay, so some of the examples I have taken here. Okay, uh, from that standard document. So these codes will be available into the claim form or the EDI file. Okay, so this diagnosis codes we need to load as it is from the input file into this field here, diagnosis code. Okay, so these are the diagnosis code for the treatment for the given claim line. And then we are having procedure code. So procedure code is nothing but for that given treatment, okay, what procedure was followed. And for each procedure, there will be again some codings we will be having, standard coding. So that code will be, procedure code also will be received as an input into the EDI file. So that we will load as it is. Okay. Then provider ID, this will be empty. Current status will be 16 because the claim is just loaded, and input date will be the get date. So line level information will be stored here. I will show one more example here. I might have. Okay, yeah, this is the okay. So this is the claim level data. Claim one. Okay, MEME ID will be blank. MEME CK will be blank. Okay, subtype will be loaded. Total charge, this will be updated. Total payable will be blank. Network indicator will be received in the input. We will load as it is. Current status will be 16. Okay, low service date, high service date will this will be updated. Patient account we will receive, and get date we will update for the insert for the input date. Now for the same claim, there is a line level information. Okay, so claim one, it is having only one line. That also should be fine. Okay, only one line, and charge amount is 100. So same 100 will go here. From date and to date, as there is only one line, okay, the same values should go here. The second claim, if you see, okay, we are having second claim and it is having 4 lines. Okay, now whatever is the charge amount for each line, we will take sum of all those 850 and we'll update into the total charge on the claim level. Same for the service dates. Okay, the minimum of the start date will be updated here. Low service date, minimum from this CDML from date, and maximum from this to date will be updated here. Okay, each line is having some diagnosis code, some procedure code. Okay, so that information will be loaded into this fields. Okay, the third table we are having is a CLPR, which is a claim provider information. CLPR is nothing but the claim provider information will be loaded into this table. So from this EDI file, we'll be having the provider information like provider name, provider address, city, state. Okay, the tax ID, NPI. So that information will be loaded into this table. Okay, type, tax, NPI, and state. Again, this should be against the same claim ID for which we have loaded the data into about 2 tables. So same claim ID we will insert into this CLCL ID as well. Okay, and on a single claim there can be multiple providers. Okay, that's the reason we are having the CLPR type here. Okay, but a claim ID and CLPR type combination should be only once. That is what this composite key is meaning. How it is possible to have multiple providers on a single claim, right? Because let's say you are having the different diseases, right? Here, different diagnosis codes. Okay. And there may be chance like we are having different doctors treating these different diseases, right? So there can be more than one provider we will be having on this claim. Okay, this is one example. Another example is uh, the doctor, whoever is treated for the patient. Okay, he is not directly charged. The insurance company will not pay directly to them because the doctor is not registered with insurance company, but the hospital is. Okay, so service will be given by the doctor, but the payment will be made to the hospital. Okay, because the doctor is working there. So billing provider may be different and servicing provider may be different in that case. So that's the reason there may be chances of multiple providers for the given claim. The last table is MEME table. The member related information will be loaded into this table against the same claim ID. What we are having here, member first name, last name, middle initial and birth date, right? So that information will be loaded here. Okay, you can just see in the same sheet all the tables. I have given the value into the Excel tabular format here. So CLCL, two claims, CDML, two claims, again CLPR, two claims, and MEME, two claims. Member table. Okay, there is a member information. So this is how the data will be populated. So we have to create a stored procedure which will load all the four tables in that single stored procedure. Okay, with all the valid information. Okay, so we will not have the file, so we have to create a procedure with input parameters. Okay, and what will be the input parameters for that procedure? Because we will not be receiving the values for all the columns, right? Some values we are generating. Okay, some values we are calculating, right? Some values will be blank. So we will not get everything in the as a input parameter. Okay, there will be some limited values only, and that I have that columns I have mentioned out here. Okay, what are all the input parameters will be there, right? So we will go from the like bottom. The member related information is anything we are calculating here.
No.
Birthday.
We are not calculating anything, right? So this is all we are taking from the input. So the member related information will be coming as an input parameter. So there will be four input parameters, okay, which will directly load into this member table. Again, provider related information. This also we are not calculating anything. We are taking as it is from the input. So these fields also will be a input parameters, right? Uh, Provider related fields. Now from the CDML table, there are many things which we are calculating or like we'll be keeping as a blank. So we will not get every column as an input. Okay. The first column, CLCL ID, this is not coming input, right? So this should be derived. Again, sequence number, this is also not coming as an input. This should be derived for how many lines we are getting. Okay, so subtype we are getting input, charge amount we are getting input, network indicator we are getting input, from date to date we are getting as an input. So those fields will be there. Okay, from date to date, again diagnosis code, procedure code, these fields as well, diagnosis code, procedure code. Okay, as this will be blank, will not be getting as an input. So we are not having any allow disallow fields here into the input parameter list. Okay, same for the claims table as well. This we have to derive, so it is not in the input list. Member ID CK, this will be blank, so it is not there in the list. Subtype is there in the input parameter. Total charge, this will be again not as an input parameter because this should be calculated from the from this CDML charge amount, right? So for this from these charge amount, we have to calculate the total charge. Payable will be blank, so it is not there in input. Network indicator is there, CLCL network indicator. PRPL ID will be blank. Current status is not there because we have to take it consider from this claim status tab. Low service date, high service date, this is also calculated values. Okay, so it will not be coming as a input. And then patient account we will be getting as a input parameter. Patient account will be getting as a input parameter. So these are the input parameters that we need to be passed for this first procedure. Okay, but there is some challenge we are having here. Okay, for that we cannot go with a straightforward input parameter. There should be some different logic needs to be developed. Okay, so that we will talk about it tomorrow because it will be heavy for you today if we are going with everything. Okay, so I'll talk about this. What is the challenges to take the input parameter as it is, and what is the solution for that? That we will talk about it tomorrow. Okay, now I will give some time and will give a chance to you for asking the questions, if any, for the table information. Okay, you can open your Excel, you can see, and you can ask the questions about the tables if you are not got anything from that table or how the
Yeah,
data.
I have how many tables? I saw 4 tables.
Right, in
Where,
stage we are having 4 tables.
and then from core, how many tables we have to create? 2?
No,
8.
create everything. Okay, we have to create everything from both the tabs. But we are talking about the first step into this process flow, claim load process. Okay, so what it will do is it will load the data into the stage tables. So in stage, we are having 4 tables. So all the 4 tables should be populated in our first step. So when we create a first procedure, the data should be loaded into all the 4 tables. That is what we are looking here, the first process.
I do have a question, sir. You have left some of the column empty, like a blank. Why is that so?
Right. So I'll just go back once again. So here, okay, some columns we are having like member related columns. Okay. So we will not have the information about the registered member number, right? As a submitter, like let's say I'm submitting the claim. Okay. I'm a doctor and maybe I'm in hospital. I'm submitting the claim. So I will not have the member information directly. I may have, okay, but instead of the member numbers that is registered with insurance company, what I will submit is I will submit the member details like first name, last name, initial and birth date. Okay, so based on this information, we need to find out the who is the member. Okay, so for that we need to compare the information with master table and we need to look for the this information. We need to compare this information from the submitted claim and identify the these values, and this should be updated later on. So initially this will be empty. That is the reason. Same for the provider ID as well. Okay, so there will be some provider ID that will be generated by the insurance company, and doctor or hospital may not have that value. Instead of that, what they will do is they will submit the provider information like tax ID, NPI, state. Okay, so that information they will provide, and based on that information, we need to figure it out PRPR ID, and that needs to be updated. Okay, then some of the fields there, the payment related fields. Okay, this will be empty because when we are submitting the claim, we will not submit how much the insurance company is going to pay because that is up to them, right? So when the doctor is submitting claim, or maybe you are submitting the claim for the reimbursement, okay, you will submit with the total charge. Okay, but how much has to be paid, that will be decided after the claim processing, after the adjudication, after all the validations. So this will be empty again before the payment. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Sure. So do we create them with the foreign key as well, or just create it at whatever it is there and primary key?
Yeah, just create whatever it is there in the with the primary key.
Sure.
Sir, also I did not understand this in 6 line in F column unique ID to be generated like last two that one, like I didn't understand that one.
Yeah. So when we get the information with these input parameters, okay. So what we will do is you will load the data into the 4 tables. So initially you will go with a single table because your insert will not be directly with the four tables at the same time, right? You will pick the claim related columns like subtype, then we are having network indicator, current status, and you will insert the data. So while inserting the data, what you will insert into the CLCL ID, because you are not having that value into the input, you have to generate that. So while inserting the data, you will generate these values. Okay, and how to generate that we have to figure it out. For example, let's say I am check if I have this table created. No, I don't have. Okay, can someone share the scripts with me as well so I can also create tables, or maybe I will create it on my own. Let's see. Okay, so let's say we are having this insert into, let's say, CMC stage, CMC CLCL. I will insert the data into this table. Okay, and what fields we are having? CLCL ID. I will take some of the fields now. Subtype and current status, and we are having network indicator. Okay, so let's say we are having these 4 fields. Now we have the information which we are getting as an input. What we are having, sales LID we don't have. So I will take this as a blank as of now. Subtype we are having as an input parameter. So whatever the input we will be getting, so we will take that input as it is to insert into the subtype field. Then status, we know we have to take this as a 16 hard code. Network indicator is also a input parameter, network indicator. So this will, what it will do, it will select this data and it will insert into the CLCL. Now CLCL ID that is not present. Okay, so let's say I will take this as a M as of now. We are getting medical claim and network indicator is I. Okay, and CLCL ID, it should not be blank. We have to generate it. So what you will do, we have to take last 2 digits of the current year. So you have to figure it out how to extract the last 2 digits of the current year. Right? So how to take that?
Like you said, going to the core, like using.
No, it is not core. Like how, or index. If you have to take the year, what you will do. So let's say I'm having this
Year,
get date. Select
get it.
get date.
Yeah.
Okay, we are having this get date. We are having. So what it will extract? It will extract. It will give you the. Oh, sorry. Okay, so this is coming as a get date. Okay, now from this get date, what you want is you want only the
Yeah.
year. Okay, so what you will get? You will get the entire year like this, year of get date. Okay, now from this year, you want only the last 2 digits. That is
Right.
what our this requirement is, right? last 2 digits of the current year. So,
Yes.
okay, what someone was telling, right?
Yeah.
So right, and let's say I'm taking 2. Okay, so will it give the correct? Yeah, it is giving the correct thing. Okay, so we will get the right. One other way is having is because this, why I'm not like why I'm saying other way, because this will give you the value into the integer format. Okay, or maybe you can convert that to varchar as well, because our field is a varchar field. Okay, but there will not be any error because integer we can insert into the varchar field, but varchar we cannot insert into the integer. So this also should be fine. But another one way we are having that also I will show you. We can use the format function as well. Okay.
Format. Yeah.
Yeah. So we are having the format function. Okay. It is saying like format value to format. So what value you are going to format? So I'm going to format the get date. Okay. Then the second is like in which format you want. So I want this in a year format.
One.
Okay, so this will also give me the last 2 digits of the year. Okay, so this is how you can extract the last 2 digits of year. So you can simply use this formula to derive the CLCL ID. Now this is, I will use concat. We are having this year part. Now the second is first letter of the current month. Okay, how to get that first letter of the current month? Okay, so we have some date name function because to have the month name. Okay, if you use just month here, what you will get? You will get month number, right? But what we have, but what we want month name because we want to extract the first character from the month name. So to get the month name, we have some function date name,
Yeah.
right? So it will give you the date name from the given for the given value, right? So when we use date name, okay, required 2 arguments. So it is required to have the 2 arguments. So month of a get date.
I think how many characters you want to display. No.
Date name should, okay, what this date name argument is required to pass. Let me check. Date name, interval, date timestamp, offset. Okay, so it is required to have the interval and date timestamp offset. So if I interval, let's say I'm just saying as a month, get it. It okay, it should not have any issue. So we'll be getting month, right? So now from this entire month, we want only the first character. So I can use left function again for this and extract one character, right? So we will get M. So this we can use for our second value. And the third value is like unique sequential number. So I will not tell how to get that. So I will just have the hard coded value here. Okay. And close the bracket. So with this, you will generate a first claim ID. Okay. And you will load the data. Now, when you load the second claim ID, this should goes on automatically incrementing. It should be generated with 2. Okay. For third claim, it should be generated with 3. Like this. Okay, so we have to figure it out how to auto increment this value. Okay, so this is how we load the data into the claim ID table, and this is how we have to derive these values. Okay. I hope it answers your question,
Yes, sir.
right?
Got it.
Increase automatically. We did concat.
No, I think,
Yeah,
Identity.
yeah.
concat is used to have the concatenation of different values like year and month, and then this. But this has to be incremented. Okay, I have currently it is taken the hard-coded value. Okay, so we need to figure out how to generate the 7-digit sequential number. Okay, it should be starting from 1 alone. So one thing I would say we can use a something called sequence. Okay, that is again one of the object you might not have been seen that. We will talk about that as well. Okay, you have said like you have seen the table type.
Table type.
Yeah, or not?
I think no.
No idea.
I think Sandeep, so you only mentioned on the first day. Okay, if not, that also we have to see because the table type as an input parameter that we are going to use for this procedure.
Okay.
Okay, I
Doesn't
will say
identity doesn't work in this case?
identity should work if we are, but identity to have the identity column, the column should be integer, right?
Right.
We are having this varchar.
Okay. Yeah.
Right, because it is combination of integer values and character values. So a simple identity field, if we create, we will not be able to create here. Okay, so some sequence we can use. We are having some concept called sequence. So might be we will see that. But apart from sequence, there is something we are having that also we can choose. I'll see whether we will be able to use that. Let's say I will use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 plus, let's say, cast 1 as varchar 7. Let me see what it will generate. It will generate 1 only. But every time we will insert, it should increment. Yeah, we need to figure it out the way. Okay, how to do that. But yeah, if we are having if we are having some sequence generated, okay, sequence is one of the database object you might have been seen or you might not have been seen here, like a procedure function. We are having type, okay, that we are going to see table type, and we are having sequence as well. So it is also one of the database object that we can utilize to generate a sequential numbers. So we will talk about it tomorrow. Okay, but yeah, we are going to utilize the sequence to generate this number. Okay, so this is the one thing about the loading the data into the stage tables. Okay, our first step, or here also we can see our first step. Okay, but before that, I was talking, we need to load the data into these two tables, PRPR and MEME, which are the core tables. Okay, and to load the data into these two tables, I'm having some requirement created. Does everyone have the AdventureWorks database?
Yes.
Which one, sir?
Any AdventureWorks database, 2022, 25, 26.
We have it.
Yeah, we
We
do.
don't have.
2025.
Okay, we have, that should be fine. So we are going to utilize that database to load the data into the these master tables. Okay, I'm having some requirement document here. to load the data into the PRPR and to load the data into the MEME table. Okay, so for the PRPR table, insert the data into the CMC PRPR table from the AdventureWorks. Okay, any database you will take, I will just mention this as a year. Okay, because every database will be having the same kind of tables. Okay, same tables and same fields as well. So you will read the AdventureWorks database to load the data into this CMC PRPR table. Okay, and use the formats criteria while inserting the data into below specified format by selection it from the different tables from the AdventureWorks database. Okay, so I'll just take this PRPR ID table. Okay, so in this PRPR table, we are having these some columns. Okay, these are the some fields we are having here. So for each of the field, okay, I have given the mapping from where we are going to take the value. Again, for the PRPR ID, we will be generating it. Okay, again, it is something you need to work out how to generate it. So generate in the format, first letter will be P, then MMYY of the current date, and 5-digit sequential number starting with 00101. Okay, so when you insert the first record with some name as a PR provider name, the PRPR ID generated should be P, then current month and year 0526 and sequential number 00101. For the second record, it should be 00102. For third record, it should be 00103. Okay, as you are inserting the data on the same day, the first values will be same, like what is that? P, and then MMYY. What is the MMYY for today? It is like 0526. Okay, 101. Then 0526, 102, and 103, 104 like that. Okay, so we have to generate this PRPR ID. Then provide a name. So PRPR name you have to take from the person table, person.person. Okay, and we are having the first name, last name column into the person.person table. If you see here, select star from, or I'll just go with use AdventureWorks. Okay, we are having some fields here. First name, last name. Okay, so first name and last name you have to take from this field, and you have to insert into this PRPR name field. Okay, so there are two fields, and here we are having only one field, so we have to do the concatenation for the first name and last name with space in between. There should be one space. Okay, then PRPR NPI field we are having, so that we have to take from the human resource table and employee table from the human resource schema. So select start from, for each field, okay, near about a different table we are referring. So you need to figure it out how to join all those tables together. For that, you need to look for all the required tables and mapping columns so that you can join all those tables. So we have to take the national ID number from this column to load into this PRPR NPI field. Okay, PRPR NPI. So you have to take the national ID number from the human resource table, employee table. Then third field we are having MCTN ID. Again, this has to be generated from different fields. Okay, so concat 2 characters from the state province code. So there is a state province code into this state province table. Select star from state province code. So this is the state province code. So you will take 2 characters from this column, state province code, state province code. Okay, then what next concatenation? MMYY of the current date. Again, you have to take the MMYY. So for example, let's say I'm taking this AB, okay, then MMYY 0526, and then uh, first four characters of the row GUID column. So row GUID column is there into this employee table. So from this employee table, you have to take first four characters from this row GUID column. Okay, so this is the entire row GUID column. I have to take only first four. Okay, so this will be the value for your MCTN ID. It is nothing but the tax ID. Okay, so that we have to generate here. Then address 1, 2, city, state, country. Those are the different fields we are having from person table and sorry, address table and state province table. So you have to map all those and you have to insert the data. Term date should be the get date plus 65 years. So if your get date will be there into the employee table, so you have to add the 65 years for the birth date, and that should be inserted into this term date field. Okay, so you can create just a simple insert into select query. Okay, but you need to figure it out how to join all those columns together, all those tables together. Okay, so this is for PRPR, and we are having MEME as well. So for the MEME table also, I'll be giving one Excel file. Okay, Excel is there into this document as well. So you have to take this Excel data, and from this Excel data, you have to load data into this table. Now in this Excel, we are having some fields. Okay, we are having ID, first name, last name, email, middle initial, and date of birth. Okay, so I think everything is there for mapping. Okay, MEME ID, this should be the ID from Excel file, like we are having the ID, right? That should be fine. Then first name, last name, middle initial, this should be taken as it is from the Excel file. First name, last name, middle initial. We don't have to worry about the email. We don't have that field. Date of birth. So this is from Excel. We have to take, but only the date part, because currently in Excel we are having the timestamp as well. So we don't have to take this timestamp. We have to take only the date part. So these fields we will insert into this MEM. Now there are two fields remaining, member ID and phone number. So that you have to generate using some logic. So MEME ID, you will generate a random 5-digit number. Okay, so now how to generate this random 5-digit number, you can figure it out. For example, you can use some system functions. Okay, there are many system functions that will be used to generate the random numbers. I will just give you one example, like rand function we are having, right? Select rand. Okay, so if you generate this random value, you will be getting generated the random values, but make sure you have to generate the 5-digit value. Okay, it is again in decimals. So you need to figure it out using this rand function, how to generate a 5-digit value. So like this, we will be having, so that you will need to generate. And for phone number, I have given some format. So with the random values, you can generate this phone number as well. Okay, so try to work on these two requirements and try to load the data into these two tables. Okay, anyway, we should have the common data for these two tables. Okay, because we'll be working together, so everyone should have the same data initially. So no, I will not say it should be same currently. You have to work and figure it out how to load this data. Okay, but yeah, later on we will truncate and reload the same data in everyone's table. Okay, but yeah, you can work on this, figure it out how to join those tables from the AdventureWorks database and how to load the data from this Excel file to the table. Okay, for this particular, you can create package or maybe you can create yeah, you can load this through the SSIS package, or you can use the import export into the SQL server as well to load the file directly to the SQL server. anything is fine for me. Okay, but yeah, don't go with manual uh, like manually selecting the data and generating the insert statement. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I will share
Okay,
this
sir.
document, work on it. Okay, you have to think on some things like generating the provider IDs and generating the random numbers, concatenating the values. So you just think on it and try to insert the data into both of these tables.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Can you also please share your SQL file?